Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. I did something last month that completely changed the way I think about money. For 30 straight days, I tracked every single penny I spent. I mean everything from my morning coffee to late-night impulse buys. Every online order, every quick snack, every bill, and even those sneaky subscription services I forgot I had. And let me tell you, what I discovered shocked me. Let me take you back to day one. I didn't think I had a spending problem. I pay my bills on time, I'm not in major debt, and I don't live extravagantly. But I kept feeling like my money was slipping through my fingers. You know that feeling, right? You check your bank account and think, wait, didn't I just get paid? So I challenged myself, what if I tracked every expense for 30 days to find out exactly where my money was going? I created a spreadsheet on my phone. Nothing fancy, just 4 columns: date, item, category, and amount. I kept the file pinned to my home screen and forced myself to log every single transaction as soon as it happened. Even if it was just a $2 charge, it went in. No exceptions. That was the first lesson. Awareness is powerful. Because once I started tracking, I became hyper-aware of every spending decision. Suddenly, buying that overpriced smoothie didn't feel so casual anymore. When you know you're gonna write it down and literally see it add up later, it hits differently. By the end of the first week, I already noticed patterns. For example, I thought I was only getting takeout once or twice a week, but in reality, I ordered food 6 times in 7 days. Between coffee runs, last-minute lunches, and lazy dinners, I spent over $120 on food that I barely remembered enjoying. That was a slap in the face, not because takeout is bad, but because I wasn't consciously choosing to spend on it. It was just happening on autopilot. The second week was even more revealing. I finally looked at my subscriptions and wow, that was a rabbit hole. I had Netflix, Spotify, Amazon Prime, and 3 different apps I downloaded months ago but never used. One was $4.99 a month, another was $7.99, all small amounts, but together they totaled almost $60 per month. That's $720 a year on services I didn't even care about. I canceled 4 of them immediately. That took me maybe 10 minutes. And just like that, I gave myself a small raise. That was lesson 2. Little leaks sink big ships. It's rarely one huge purchase that drains your account. It's the $5 here, the $10 there, and before you know it, your financial boat is half underwater. As the days went on, something unexpected happened. I started feeling in control, like really in control. I wasn't restricting myself or following a budget. I was just tracking. But that act alone changed my behavior. I started asking myself, do I really want this or am I just bored? Hungry? Stressed? It's wild how many of our purchases are driven by emotion, not need. One night, I added something to my online cart, just a random gadget I saw on TikTok. But when I paused to write it down, I caught myself. I realized I didn't actually want the thing. I wanted the feeling of buying something. That moment was a game changer. Around day 17, I categorized my spending. I split things into needs, wants, habits, and surprises. That was another eye-opener. My habit category, things I bought out of routine, was way too big. For example, every Friday I'd grab a fancy latte and a snack from this local bakery. It was a nice treat, but it wasn't special anymore. It was just a habit. And habits cost money, whether or not they bring value. I'm not saying I stopped treating myself, but now I make it intentional. When I want something, I ask, is this adding joy to my life or is it just part of a loop I've fallen into? By the 3rd week, something shifted. I actually looked forward to tracking. It gave me a weird sense of pride. Like, look at me being responsible and but more than that, I started realizing what I value. I didn't miss the random stuff I stopped buying. What I did miss was spending on experiences. I hadn't gone out with friends because I didn't want to spend. But meanwhile, I was wasting money on stuff I didn't care about. So I made a new rule. I'd rather spend $40 on dinner with good company than $40 on 3 separate impulse buys I forget. A week later, that's lesson 3. Money should support the life you actually want, not just fill the silence. By the end of the month, I had over 150 entries in my spreadsheet. Some were tiny, like parking meters or digital tips. Others were big, like my rent and insurance. But altogether, they painted a perfect picture of who I was with money. The good, the bad, and the mindless. I totaled it up, and here's the part that stunned me. I spent almost $800 on things I didn't need, didn't really want, and wouldn't even miss. That's rent in some cities. That's a vacation fund. That's debt paid off. And it wasn't even money I enjoyed spending. It just disappeared. But the point isn't to feel bad. I didn't do this to guilt trip myself. I did it to understand myself. Because once you understand your habits, you can start changing them. You can start choosing. And that's where the real freedom is. Budgeting doesn't have to feel like punishment. It can feel like power, like clarity, like saying I'm in charge of where my money goes. And that's the most valuable thing I learned. Tracking gave me control. It also taught me that small changes make a huge difference. I didn't cut out everything. I just became more conscious. I brought lunch from home twice a week instead of buying it every day. I paused before clicking buy now. I switched to a cheaper phone plan after comparing options. Just those few tweaks saved me over $300 in 1 month. And I didn't feel deprived at all. In fact, I felt more abundant because I was finally spending in a way that matched my goals. So what now? Am I gonna keep tracking every penny forever? Probably not, but I am gonna do it again every few months, like a financial checkup. It's like weighing yourself not because you're obsessed with the number, but because you want to stay aware. And I highly recommend you try this, even if it's just for a week. Don't change anything at first. Just track, observe, let your own habits speak to you. And then once you see the patterns, then you can decide what to tweak, what to keep, and what to delete. This experiment wasn't about perfection. I still made dumb purchases. I still bought snacks I didn't need and hit add to cart on a whim. But the difference is, now I know, and when you notice, you can improve. That's all it takes. Awareness and the willingness to learn from yourself. I didn't expect this to be life-changing. I honestly just thought it would be a fun little challenge. But what I got was so much more. I got peace of mind. I got control. And I got to feel proud of how I handle my money. Probably for the first time ever. So if you've ever felt like your money vanishes, or that you're working hard, but not getting ahead, this might be the best place to start. No fancy app, no complicated budget, just a notebook, or a spreadsheet, and a decision to be honest with yourself. Try it. 1 week. Write down everything, and then watch what happens. You might be surprised. You might even change your life. Thanks for watching. If you found this helpful, consider giving the video a like, or sharing it with someone who's been feeling stuck financially. And if you want more real-life money tips, don't forget to subscribe. I'll see you in the next one.